Good evening. My name is Celeste Prescott, Public Information Officer with Southwest Incident Management Team 1. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Hermits Peak Calf Canyon Public Information Fire Update. I'm going to go ahead and open it up with the Southwest Incident Management Team 1 Incident Commander Carl Schwope.
Good evening, Carl Schwope, IC here with Team 1. 3 incident management teams on the fire, and as you know, we each have a kind of a geographic area that we're looking at. Helps us stay focused, focus more detail on those areas. But the one thing I want to say about that, we all have one common goal, and that's to put this fire out. And so it doesn't matter where on the fire the priority is at. It doesn't matter what zone it's in. We're all here to focus on that area and make sure that if the fire were to become active in an area, that we'll surge resources to that area. And so we stay in contact really good all day between the different incident management teams, and just got off a call with them earlier today, or just an hour ago. And so really we talked about the weather event we're going through, high winds, red flag conditions today, and across the entire fire area things are looking really favorable. A lot better than we had expected it to look at this time yesterday, by this time today. So we still have tomorrow to get through, another big wind event coming in tomorrow, and we still have to get through the rest of the day. But as of right now, things are looking really good. Jason will share that with you here in a minute. But across all the zones, things are really looking good. It doesn't mean we didn't have fire growth today, and we're definitely going to see some more fire movement tomorrow. But as of right now, things are looking really good for us. Firefighters doing an incredible job. We're picking up spot fires across the 518 road. They've been aggressive on those all day. Aircraft got shut down early because of the high winds, so they're out there on their own just digging these spots out. So really great work. So with that, Celeste, we'll turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Carl. And now we're going to go ahead with our operations update for the West Zone from Southwest Incident Management Team 1 Operations Section Chief Jason Coyle.
Yeah, hi, good evening. So we'll just go to the map because that's really what matters right now. As Carl stated, at about 1100 today, we lost our aircraft. Wait, let me say that differently. I want to misinterpret. At 1100 today, we lost the ability to use our tactical aircraft to drop water or put down retardant. So as Carl stated, the crews were pretty much on their own and started to see the wind straight out of the west, gusting up into 30-mile-an-hour range. Started to pick up some heat over here on the west